If you want to be filthy rich, if you want to be independent, if you want to have FU money, this is the most important video that you will watch. Because in this video today, we're going to talk about how to go full-time crypto and change your life forever.
Never before has there been an industry that has made so many millionaires so quickly. If you want to get in the last cycle in crypto and you want to make life-changing money, you've probably got a couple of days to make a decision, like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, if you want to really capitalize on it.
Today, I sat down with Neuner, entrepreneur and crypto media mogul, to answer the following questions: how to go full-time crypto and make life-changing gains.
Just start. Dip your feet, and this industry has an abundance mindset. Make sure that you really have conviction and that your vision is not blurred because of the life-changing returns that people around you are making. If that's the case, then let's put things into perspective. The quicker you could get information and the quicker you could interpret information with a little bit of brains, the more money you make. And we're still in that information asymmetry session. So if you ever thought of going all in, I would say it's now or never. When I say now or never, we're in the beginning of a cycle. The cycle probably has another 600 days. You probably don't want to try and sell the top, so you probably got 500 days to go. Every day you delay is T-1.
Rand discusses how he built a $150 million business, the struggles behind it, and how he was able to change his mindset.
It took me 17 years to build a business that was a $150 million business, and it took Mark Zuckerberg 4 years to build $1 billion. Like, something didn't make sense. And so I learned exponential. At exactly the same time that I learned exponential, I found crypto. Once you understand network effects, and you understand that that is the most powerful effect in business, and you understand that the only true network effects in the world are actually crypto. There's no other network effects in the world that are true network effects. I'll talk to you about that in a second. That is when you realize that this is probably the best industry in the world.
Rand also elaborates on why he started Crypto Banter and the reason that they are so successful.
I started Banter because I wanted to remain the best investor in the world. And the way that I could remain the best investor in the world was to be in the media and to have a lot of people throwing information at me, and to have a daily show which forced me to study the information so that I could present it to the audience. And we are really good because we have a competitive advantage in terms of the ability to curate and process research better than anybody else. And that is why I think our channel currently is exploding.
Rand breaks down what crypto comes down to, once again highlighting his brilliance when it comes to simplifying concepts.
Ultimately, what is crypto? It's the ability to transfer wealth from one place to another at the speed of data.
If you want to work in the crypto industry, you'll love this next part.
This is an open invitation to anyone. If you believe that you can do something at Banter that we're not already doing, come and do it. Again, open invitation to anyone.
Guys, if you like this type of content and want to see more interviews like this, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow, and we couldn't do it without you. Rand, thanks for joining, man. It's good to have you here. I think that for me, one of the most important things I can tell other people, and I think most of the audience, and I'm pretty sure you probably agree, I know Ivan is very, very bullish on this. I think all of us who have made our careers full-time crypto, I think there's no looking back, right? What would you say about your decision to go full-time in crypto? And if you could do it all over again, would you still do the same path?
I don't know how I ever did anything else but crypto. And I'll tell you why. It's a certain personality that you've got. So it just touches all the right neurons and neural pathways to make me a happy person. It's got high dopamine. It moves very fast. It's highly, highly, highly intellectual. It's completely global. So like, most industries in the world aren't global. We're so blessed that, you're in Thailand, I'm in South Africa. We speak exactly the same language. We're on exactly the same wavelength. We're trading in exactly the same assets. And that's like really unique. When I look at my friends who have traditional businesses, trucking businesses, property businesses, and even fund managers, they confined usually to a market. And, you may get an American who's investing in Africa, but he's always like from very far away. It's always like, he's like investing in Africa. Crypto, it's global. It's completely global. So to me, like, honestly, one of my biggest fears, Kyle, is having to go back to a life where I'm not in crypto. Like, I think about it every single day. I think about if I have to go back to normal business, I think I'd rather retire. And anyone that knows me knows that retirement is like the furthest thing that I would do. Also, maybe it's also worth talking about why I love crypto so much and how I got into it, because I think that's really when you'll understand it. So before crypto, I had a very, very, very successful business. I had a marketing business. I built the marketing business for 17 years, and I sold the marketing business for over $150 million. Now, I'm only telling you this because it was a highly publicized transaction. It was the biggest marketing business on the African continent, and it was the biggest deal ever done in marketing on the African continent till this day. Now, the reason why I sold it is because I was tired of being in a linear business. When I say linear, what do I mean by linear business? The harder you work, the more money you make. The more offices you open, the more money you make. The more people you hire, the more money you make. The problem with a linear business is that a linear business means it feels like you're running on a treadmill, and every year someone just switches it up one notch. Now, in order for you to stay in exactly the same place, you got to keep running faster and faster and faster. That's what the inflation cycle does to linear businesses. So eventually, you're just running faster and faster and faster to stay still. But the problem is you're getting older and you're getting more tired. And even though I had the most successful marketing company and we sold it at absolutely the top, I couldn't be in a linear business anymore. And so I went on a journey to try and find exponential. And I went to Harvard, I went to Singularity University, I did multiple courses. I tried to change my brain to think from linear to exponential. There had to be something that Uber was doing right and Google was doing right and Airbnb was doing right and I was doing wrong. And so, and the reason why I say that is because it took me 17 years to build a business that was a $150 million business. And it took Mark Zuckerberg 4 years to build $1 billion, or something like that. Like it was something didn't make sense. And so I learned exponential. And at exactly the same time that I learned exponential, I found crypto. And crypto is the ultimate exponential product. It is all about network effects. And once you understand network effects, and you understand that that is the most powerful effect in business, and you understand that the only true network effects in the world are actually crypto. There's no other network effects in the world that are true network effects. I'll talk to you about that in a second. That is when you realize that this is probably the best industry in the world.
A lot of people would have done what you did when you started Banter. And I know like almost all of our friends who we know who are doing YouTube channels and Twitter accounts, they stop at some degree of success. Like most of them who have got bigger channels are like very well off. And I also like to encourage anyone to watch this to feel free to just try doing a YouTube channel. And if you're going to commit to it, because it took me, I did my YouTube channel 3 years ago and I only fully committed like 5 or 6 months ago. And finally, if you fully commit, it will pay off if you just obsess about it. But Rand, you are doing something that nobody else has done, which I would like to actually do, follow in your footsteps. But you didn't get content at just being Rand Neuner on Crypto Banter. You now have built an entire media company around it. So what was the drive for doing that?
So let's go again, history. So in 2016, I was a Bitcoin investor and a Litecoin investor and a couple of other coins. And I really, really, really struggled to get information. I just didn't know where to get information. And so I went to CNBC and I said, hey guys, you guys should be covering this thing called crypto. And they said, no, crypto it's a Ponzi, and they gave me all the bad words. And then what I decided to do was I kept pushing them again and again until eventually the one director from CNBC actually bought crypto. He was a fellow degen and he was like, listen, you got to present this Bitcoin thing to the production manager. So I go to the production manager and I explained Bitcoin to her and Ethereum to her, and I can just see that penny drop moment. You know, that everyone gets that look in their eyes when the penny drops, and you realize that they just understood what we understood years ago. Yeah. And she had the penny drop moment. And as I was leaving, she said to me, we have to have a weekly show on this. It has to be 26 minutes and it has to be live. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Good luck. And she's like, no, you're doing it. I was, what? She said, no, you're going to do it. I was like, I've never done TV before, let alone live TV. She said, don't worry, we'll train you in live TV. Anyway, long story short, we launched the world's first televised crypto show on CNBC. We ran that show from 2017 to 2020 when COVID shut us down. And I just didn't want to do a show from home. And when I shut down, I never got along with CNBC just because I felt that they were old media. I felt that they had no sense of community. I felt that they were very journalistic and neutral in their approach. And that's not me. I'm a warm person. I like nurturing communities. Anyway, so I left CNBC and didn't have any plans to do broadcasting ever again. But the one thing that broadcasting did for me was it made me have to study the market 24/7. Because, when you do a YouTube show, the main thing about a YouTube show is that you have to know everything all the time. And that made me a smarter investor, specifically in an industry with what I call information asymmetry. This is an industry where the institutions can't play, and therefore they haven't invested in their lightning speed systems to communicate information on every single axis, which is, by the way, what they have in traditional finance. In traditional finance, the split second that a company releases its results, every single model updates, the algorithm decide whether to buy or sell, they execute the trade, and that's why markets are efficient. We have this thing called information asymmetry, which means that right now, and since 2017 or since 2015 or whenever it was, the quicker you could get information and the quicker you could interpret information with a little bit of brains, the more money you make. And we're still in that information asymmetry session. So why did I start Banter? I did not start Banter because I wanted to build a media group. I started Banter because I wanted to remain the best investor in the world. And the way that I could remain the best investor in the world was to be in the media and to have a lot of people throwing information at me and to have a daily show which forced me to study the information so that I could present it to the audience. As you know, I started in a coffee shop. I literally used to sit in the coffee shop all day studying. At 4 o'clock, the coffee shop used to close. I used to switch on a camera. I used to do a 1 hour show. It was me and Fred sitting up opposite each other. And that was the show. Then what happened was the community just started growing and growing and growing. And what I realized was that I'm actually changing people's lives. I'm actually, by learning every day and teaching, I'm changing people's lives. And that's something that I've always been passionate about. I have this passion. I'm not a doctor. I can't do surgery on people. I'm not a lawyer. I can't get people out of trouble. But what I can do is I can help people get rich. And that was my calling. My calling was to build the most profitable community in the world. And, that is something I've been passionate about for a long time. In fact, before my marketing company in the year 2000, I actually wrote a long business plan called Wealth Maker for an online portal to make people rich. And I've actually got the business plan. And fast forward 20 years, that's exactly what I'm doing. So I think the reason why why the group has been so successful is because we're pure and true to our mission. Our mission is not crypto. Our mission is to build the most profitable community in the world. And anything that can help us build the most profitable community in the world, we will do. It just so happens that right now, crypto is probably the easiest way to get rich. And it is the easiest way to get rich. We can talk about that in a second. And we are really good because we have a competitive advantage in terms of the ability to curate and process research better than anybody else. And that is why I think our channel currently is exploding.
Yeah, well, you essentially manifested what you wanted to do by writing that business plan long ago. So congratulations on that. But the question was a little bit deviated, but I still am curious about the scaling of what you did, right? So why did you bring on other talent into Banter when you were already doing really, really well just as ran on Banter, right? But you wanted to, I guess, was it just that you wanted to build a bigger business and be more successful? Or was it because maybe you wanted to bring on other types of talent to be able to, educate people who, because I don't think that you do TA, right, Rand? But you have now people on your channel who do TA. And for me, I don't do TA either. I don't really like it. I like fundamental stuff more. But I know that my channel is missing that aspect. Yours now is not.
It came from three things. The first thing is a need. There was a need that I needed 24/7, 365 crypto streaming. Why? Because when prices move, let me ask you a question, Carl. Right now, if Bitcoin takes a $5,000 dump, where are you going to tune in to find out exactly what's happening and why it happened? Well, you tell me. You can go to YouTube. Most YouTubers are paid shillers. Okay, so that's out. You can go to Twitter. Most of Twitter is you have to scroll and scroll and scroll. There's nowhere where you can just plug in your headphones and just listen to what's going on. So that was the original vision. To build 24/7, 365 credible crypto streaming. And when I say credible crypto streaming, we have never and will never do a paid review. Up until probably a year ago, we never took on sponsors. We took a fundamental decision to take on sponsors, but always to highlight them in red at the top of our screen so people know that they sponsored. Never, ever, ever to accept investments in return for exposure on our channel or on any of our mediums. So we'll never, ever do a deal that says, if you invest, we expect. In fact, I tell a good story. We invested in Star Atlas. We had a $250,000 allocation in Star Atlas. On the day of launch, that would have been worth something like $25 million. Mm-hmm. We returned the SAFT and got our money back because the founder of Star Atlas asked us for a marketing plan. And we were like, we're not a marketing company. We're an independent media station. And if you're asking us for a marketing plan, clearly you're expecting something in return for this investment. And we separated. We separated. We knew we were giving him back $25 million. We knew it. We knew that. So we wanted credible crypto streaming. The second part of it is I've always wanted to build $1 billion business just for fun, and just see if I can build $1 billion business and start $1 billion business. And happy to say that I think we're more than halfway there with Banter. Like we've had offers that have been higher than halfway there. We're not letting it go until we hit the $1 billion. And the third thing is I just want to work with cool people and change their lives. And I mean, so Sheldon came from nothing. Today, the guy's a dollar multi-millionaire. And it's just, for me, that's the best thing that I could have done. Fred, my co-founder, unemployed in COVID, guys, multi-dollar billionaire. Kyle, unemployed, COVID, not you, other Kyle, multi-dollar billionaire. You probably also noticed that recently I've been helping your channel a lot. Like I watch your content. I love your content. I think that your content's gone up 5 notches. And you probably realized that quite selflessly, I just want to help you grow. Why? Because again, I think that if I just put a little bit of the stuff that I've learned and I know to you, then you'll grow 10x exponentially. And I can always look at you and I don't expect anything in return except to look and to say, I helped him and he's helping 100,000 other people. So you put those 3 things together, which is I want to build $1 billion business. There is a huge need for 24/7 streaming information. And I want to work with really fucking cool people and just change their lives and let them change my life. And then that's really what Banter becomes.
So let's get into, and thanks, Red, I appreciate that. Let's get into what I think a lot of the viewers would like to know, because it's easy for us to say, 2 guys sitting here who are successful going full-time crypto. But what about to those people who've got 9-to-5 jobs, unemployed, don't have a lot of experience in crypto yet? How can they go full-time crypto? And, one example is I was just in Dubai for like 10 weeks, and I have 2 of my best friends live there. They're twins. Met them in Brazil in 2013, and they run a couple of gyms over there. And I told them, I was like, man, you guys, like, they have the best, biggest personalities in the world too. And I would love, they would just crush it in this industry. And I told them, you guys have to start a YouTube channel. Like that's the best way to do this, And I think there's some hesitation. And for anybody who's, entrepreneurs are a different kind of breed, but for a lot of people, they're probably hesitating. And so what can you suggest to people who are watching this, to take that first step moving forward, which is probably usually a pretty scary step for a lot of people, especially if they're coming from a secure 9-to-5 job?
Okay, so first thing is ask yourself if you have true conviction or if you're here because you just want to make the quickest money in the world. Now, if you're here just because you want to make the quickest money in the world, that's cool. Like this, you're probably the same as 90% of all crypto people. If you have real conviction in this technology and real conviction that this technology is revolutionary and will make a big difference to the world, then, and I mean real conviction, like if your portfolio goes down negative, would you still be here? And I mean, you can see Kyle, myself, we've been here. This is my 4th cycle. I'm going into my 4th cycle now. I think this is your 4th cycle too. We've been here when the juice was so squeezed out the lemon that nobody believed that crypto was going to survive. We still thought crypto was going to survive. That's the first thing. The first thing is make sure that you really have conviction and that your vision is not blurred because of the life-changing returns that people around you are making. If that's the case, then let's put things into perspective. Number 1, never before has there been an industry that has made so many millionaires so quickly. It's not coincidental. It's not coincidental. And I'll tell you why it's not coincidental. I was around for the .com bubble. I was around for the launch of mobile phones and the mobile phone bubble. I was around for the launch of social media and the social media bubble. I was around for crypto, and I've been around for AI. And I can tell you that in every single one of those revolutions, the only revolution that I know that made so many millionaires so quickly is crypto. The reason is because crypto is exactly about being able to transfer wealth, to build and transfer wealth very, very quickly. That is what the technology actually does. Ultimately, what is crypto? It's the ability to transfer wealth from one place to another at the speed of data. And that element of crypto, coupled with the fact that it's amazing technology, has created huge millionaires. It's the addition of a token to create a scoreboard and liquidity for the perception of the technology that you're building that can be traded anywhere around the world globally is what makes crypto such a degen industry. The fact that we have a 24/7 scoreboard, which is the price of the token, the fact that anybody can create this 24/7 and integrate into this 24/7 scoreboard allows anyone to create whatever they want and to market whatever they want and to get the reward for what the world perceives their idea to be or their technology to be like immediately. Now, that for me is one of the most exciting things in the world. And I believe that we've had 3 or 4 or 5 cycles, depending on how you judge the cycles. I believe that this is the last cycle where we can make life-changing returns before 2 things happen. One is regulation makes this a lot harder. Okay, so things become securities, things become traded on regulated exchanges. Even if they're not securities, they introduce a new token standard, which tells you, it just becomes much more of a regulated, mature industry. Second thing is, this is the last cycle that the retail investor will have an edge over the institutional investor. When it comes to Bitcoin and Ethereum, as a retail investor today, you have no edge over the institutional investor, and therefore you will not make life-changing money trading Bitcoin and Ethereum. In fact, other than holding, you will probably lose money on Bitcoin and Ethereum because you're going to start trading against really sophisticated algorithms that cost millions and millions and millions of dollars to make and train. When it comes to ETH, same thing, because the institutions soon will be able to plug into Bitcoin and plug into ETH. But you've got a whole lot of altcoins. And in this cycle, they're not coming for those altcoins. Mm-hmm. This is the cycle where they're going to buy our Bitcoin and our ETH at inflated prices, and we're going to use the profits from our Bitcoin and our ETH to invest in the other tokens that they're going to buy from us next cycle, which means you only have this cycle with information asymmetry and lack of optimal regulation that will stifle the speed at which this industry operates. Now you got to make a call. It's the last cycle. It's like you're in a casino and they're saying, last rounds, we close in an hour. Now you got to ask yourself, where are you putting your stack of chips? If you don't have conviction, then be a passive investor on the side, buy into a couple of indices, maybe participate in a couple of high risk things, and do that. But this is, if you ever thought of going all in, I would say it's now or never. When I say now or never, we're in the beginning of a cycle. The cycle probably has another 600 days. You probably don't want to try and sell the top, so you probably got 500 days to go. Every day you delay is T-1. The problem is that as you get closer, if you just let me share my screen, let me just share the screen here so you can see it. But as you get closer, so this is the Bitcoin chart. Let's just quickly go on to a weekly just to make it a lot more fun. So, okay, what you can see is the later that you are in the cycle, the more aggressive the pumps become. So let's just compare to last cycle. And, arguably you can say we're somewhere here. Like, we're somewhere here. This is before the halving. We're somewhere here. Problem is that here, like you may have a few days. But here, look, every day, look what happens to the chart every single day. Okay, now, today, if you jump today, you may catch this. But if you wait here and you kind of try and jump in here, and then like every day takes you up like that, you're just missing potential opportunities. So like I'm not one to try and cause FOMO and whatever else, but it's really like, it's kind of like a now or never kind of thing. If you want to get in the last cycle in crypto and you want to make life-changing money, you've probably got a couple of days to make a decision, like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, if you want to really capitalize on it.
Yeah, and I'm really glad you brought up that last cycle. That was exactly what I was telling to my friends when I was in Dubai. Is like, almost in a state of urgency, because I really care about these guys, and I'm like, and I want to see them as successful as myself or you have been, and I'm sure you have the same thing for the people that you care about as well. And that's really why I want to make this video as well. I'm going to tell a story quickly, and then maybe if it reminds you of one to tell as well, because I want to give a couple examples for people who maybe don't have, haven't gone to crypto school or don't have so much experience. So, when we were first building Paid Network, and we needed community moderators, right? And community moderators, they usually come from all over the world, usually from third world countries, where the cost of living is very, very low. And we hired some community moderators for $300 or $400 a month. And one of the guys was just so good and so passionate about doing his job, and just always offering up information, and without any of this, formal training or university or whatever fancy. And he was just hungry and hungry and hungry and hungry. And eventually he went from $300, $400 a month community moderator to on the marketing team, then went and crushed it in the marketing team, and eventually became CMO. And now I think is making, I don't know what his salary is, $10,000, $12,000 a month. And I think he's from Pakistan, right? And so like, this is the top 1%, I think, for earners in a country like that. And so I just wanted to give an example of one of the people on our team. His name is Uzman. I'm very, very proud of him. He's still our CMO at Paid today. And, I just want to give an example, because he was able to come in and he just blatantly, asked from randomly, hey, do you need any community moderators? I'll do it for free for a month. Let me just show you what I got, and that's like, I appreciate that personally. Now, if you guys do reach out to me and I too busy, like, please don't get upset. Like, a lot of people do ask me, but there's 1,000 other projects out there that you could do the same thing as well. And so that's one story I have where, a very, very cool story. And, just giving some examples of people, how they can get into it,
Most of my staff are ex-community members that actually worked here for free first. My social media manager was actually our social media manager for free. She used to sit at the office for free for months and months and months, until eventually we're like, okay, listen, we have to pay you. Like, you can't just keep doing that for free. One of my most important troops, my product manager on my technology side, he came here. He's like, I said to him, look, I don't have a job for you. Come here. And within a week, he says, hey, you guys don't have a Discord. Can I start your Discord for you? We're like, yeah, start it. It's yours. We started a Discord. We then, he helped us build Banter Bubbles. So I would say 90% of the staff in this business are staff that just community members that just did stuff, and then we just absorbed them into our community. Really, 90% of the staff of our business. Banter is a community. It is a community. It's not, I'm a servant leader in the community, but this is driven by the community. Banter is driven by the community. And the whole of crypto is like that. It's the opportunity for anyone to get involved, to try and help a project and to somehow find a reward for it. That's the structure of crypto. I think just get in. And I keep saying to people, like, I met a 14-year-old when I was in Singapore, and the guy sat next to me, 14. The guy writes tweets for some of the biggest accounts. His name is 0xDgen. The guy writes tweets for massive accounts. He's 14 years old. Okay, the guy knows more about. I'm actually going to just quickly, if you don't mind, I'm actually just going to call up a tweet. I met him, and again, like another one of these people, I just thought like something that I could do. Hold on, I just want to make sure I've got. I can't remember his. Hold on, 0x. Let's just see if I can find his. I can't find his handle. I'll give you the handle, but he is such like. 14 years old, the guy's now, he's so good at researching that he actually starts writing tweets. So what's the point here? The point is, if you can't be in front of a camera, that's fine. Start a Twitter Spaces. If you can't start a Twitter Spaces, write a newsletter. If you can't write a newsletter, start writing tweets. If you start moderating a community on behalf of Arbitrum or one of the big protocols, just start, dip your feet. And this industry has an abundance mindset. The best thing about this industry, like here we are, we're two YouTubers. My aim certainly isn't to make you less, because I just believe this market is so big. There's so much abundance here that the better you do, the better I'll do. And that's something that's quite unique to crypto. We're not at each other's throats.
Very unique.
Yeah, I don't see, like in a normal industry, I don't want to give you my trade secrets, because if I give you my trade secrets, you may be able to emulate my product. Carl, I watch your videos every single day. Tell them, every single day I watch your videos, I leave you a voice note. Brother, good video, maybe try this. Why? Because if you succeed, it just means that we all succeed more. It doesn't mean that less people will watch my show, or I don't know, like we all just succeed better and we build a better, stronger industry. And that's something that's very, very, very unique to crypto. Most people who aren't in crypto can't understand something like that, because they think like, like Carl, our entire research group, I just want to show you something. Like people think that I have an unfair advantage because I have all these researchers. Bro, let me show you something. This is my research group. This is real time where I get my data from. In Banter Bubbles, real time, I get my data from here. My researchers all live in this research group. Anybody can use that to start a YouTube channel. To make it even worse, the only prep that I do for my show comes from this research group and from a research call. The research call is free for anyone to listen to. Okay, like literally, like you want to know where I get my information for my show? Join the call. I have the call in the morning, and then I read the research group all day as it breaks, which is all available here for free. And then there's a newsletter which comes out just before my show called Run's Show Notes. Literally, it is the show notes that my producers send me so that I can produce the show. I make it available and free to everyone, open source in real time. So, like, why? Because, hey, if you can use that information to produce an amazing quality show, great. Don't duplicate my efforts. I mean, like that's the mindset here, which most people don't understand.
Yeah, and I can attest to that. Like you added me to that research group just so I could get some more, help me out with more research. And while I have my own research team, and most of the time we'd use what we come up with, but sometimes I'll feel like the show that we come up with is flat or something like that. So I'll go into your group and I'll grab something and I can make an entire show out of one thing that pops up, which is completely different than your show, right?
Absolutely amazing. That's why I've got the research group. And did I lose anything? No. We just both gained. So I just gave you my resource and we both gained out of it. And that's really what the abundance mindset is about. Crypto facilitates an abundant mindset because one man's gain is not another man's loss. In every other industry, one man's gain is another side's loss. In crypto, because of the network effect, very unique. If you gain, we both build the protocol. So let's just, for one, look at Bitcoin or a smaller protocol, Solana, whatever. If I can convince you that it's good and I can help you tell other people that Solana is good, then actually we both gain because we both hold the token, right? That's unique to crypto. That's the abundance mindset that is unique to crypto. If you make good content because you've used my research group, the protocols that we're both supporting will get bigger and we will both get richer. And we will then have more resources to bring more people into the protocols. And that's what people don't understand that aren't in crypto full time.
One of the things that this goes back to a little bit what we were saying a few minutes ago, but one of the things I wanted to point out as well was, I get a lot of people that come to me and ask me for work or want to do something. And, they start trying to negotiate a salary right away. And the best thing I can tell you, which I can never say no to, is come in, show me how valuable you are. And then once you show me how valuable you are, there's no way that I can say no to the salary that you're asking for, because whatever you're doing for me is making me more money than I'm paying you, right? Exactly. And so like just come in, do some work, and make it so I'm begging for you to stay. And that's what people need to understand. When you do that, if you go to that approach versus like trying to ask for something right away, come in, show value, show that you're better than everybody else, you're going to land a job, right? And come in, if you're new to the industry, come into something else that's big and established, like Banter or one of our projects or whatever. Learn the ropes, and then when you feel comfortable, just talk to Rand, talk to myself, and say that you want to go spread your own wings and do your own thing. I guarantee you, anyone who's successful in the space supports you in doing that. And they'll probably even incubate you if they believe in you.
This is an open invitation to anyone. If you believe that you can do something at Banter that we're not already doing, come and do it. I'll give you an example. As I said to you, the guy that runs our products at our Banter Bubbles, and he came in here. He literally came here. I said to him, look, chill out here. We've got a co-working space here. Chill out. You tell me what you can do. 3 days later, it's like, you don't have a Discord. Can I start a Discord? I said, great. You can start a Discord. You're a partner in our Discord. I've got someone sitting here today who came in here, had no idea. He now believes that he can create a whole LinkedIn strategy. I'm like, if you can create the whole LinkedIn strategy, you can own it, and we can share in whatever upside there is, but it's yours. I don't want to We'll just make sure that it's within brand guidelines and it doesn't breach our code of ethics. But if you can make money out of it, we can share it. Great. That is how crypto is. There's an abundance mindset. And again, open invitation to anyone. If you think somewhere at Banter that you can add value, come. Use the co-working space.
Yeah. Guys, if we're going to wrap it up on that one, but if you guys have any more questions, let us know in the comments below. And I'm sure, Rand, you're happy to come do this again, because I think that both you and I are very, very passionate about helping anybody who's watching. We want all you guys to succeed. And so please do feel free to leave questions in the comments below, and definitely would love to do this again. I'd love to do it again, first of all. Second of all, I'm so excited about the fact that you've upped your game in terms of your content. Your content has been, look, to be honest, you were making content before, but I just felt that you weren't serious about the research. And now, to be honest, your content is like number 1 or number 2 on my watch list every single day, because I always know there's going to be alpha. You killed me last night, because I was just about to go to bed and you went and dropped a free airdrop video. And I was like, oh man, it's like 9 o'clock at night. I was like, fuck, 10 o'clock. I was like, am I really? Because I knew that if I listened to that video, I'm going to do shit. I'm going to go and try and farm for airdrops, give people instructions or whatever else. I was like, I have to listen to this now, because if I wait until the morning, it's going to be too late. So the level of your content, the level of your research has really, really gone up. And to be honest, that's why I really want to help you, because I think that now your content really deserves to have the platform. And I know you're coming onto our channel on Friday. It's going to be a very, very, very fucking high alpha show. I think it's me, you, and Virtual Bacon, who's also got a very fucking good channel. It's going to be I think it's going to be a full-on DJ show on Friday. Yeah, I'm very, very excited for it. I'm also going on Dylan's show, I think, later tonight as well. So 2 appearances in a week. Looking forward to it. And guys, I'm sure every one of you guys has seen Crypto Banter, but if you haven't, you've got Crypto Banter and Crypto Banter Plus as well. Make sure that you guys go follow Rand and all of his talent over there. It's a channel that I also watch on a daily basis, and have been for a very long time. Cool, my brother. Thank you. Much love. Thank you for having me on. See you on our channel on Friday. Can't wait, my man. Same here, buddy. Bye-bye. Ciao.